division area, and so definitely you can add the charge of a stolen vehicle with reckless driving and felony evading to trump up all those charges for this driver.
And Roland, we're also hearing that the driver hit another vehicle.
We have not witnessed it hit another vehicle quite yet. As it was, okay, check this out now. Going down the center divider, passing up traffic. We did not see, going down the center divider, passing up traffic. We did not see him hit a vehicle. However, he came close a number of different times, and in fact, went on the wrong side of the road as you're making that transition through the tunnel of Santa Monica off the freeway, and then coming onto PCH. There was a point in time where he was on the wrong side of the street, pushing his way, barreling through traffic and so forth, and that was when we saw a number of vehicles almost get hit.
Roland, it's Michael Brownlee now joining Annabelle here. Quick question for you. Our latest notes say that police are in tracking mode at this point. What does that mean for this particular chase? What are their maneuvers? What are the protocols?
Great question, Michael, because tracking mode for LAPD and most police agencies means that they are surveilling this driver from the air, meaning that there's too much of a safety issue, too much of a safety problem. They do not want to pursue this vehicle actively with their lights and siren, and as I pull out of the shot, you can see there are no patrol vehicles immediately to the rear of this vehicle. Because they do not want to push this driver to accelerate at a quicker speed, thereby making the police chase a lot more dangerous to innocent drivers and innocent bystanders. So they are surveilling from the air right now and tracking them from quite a bit of a distance behind. We did see at least 3 LAPD cruisers some distance behind this box truck.
And Roland, you know, you mentioned we're not sure how many people are inside this box truck, but yes, the windows are fairly dark. I'm wondering, are the windows rolled down?
No, we have not seen any indication that the windows are rolled down. And when we've watched these types of pursuits before, we've seen all kinds of behavior of the driver where they kind of hang their arm out the window as if they're going for a Sunday cruise. But we have not seen that in this particular case. And in fact, we can see the reflection of the window up right now. So that driver inside the cab of that truck, windows not down, but still on PCH northbound, passing through the Cross Creek area. And he'll be approaching pretty quickly the area of Pepperdine, near Pepperdine. In fact, I think we might be pretty close to that area right now. Still northbound on PCH in Malibu.
And obviously, are police at a disadvantage or at an advantage here, Roland? And I'll use your expertise on this because we're talking about a 2-lane road here, maybe perhaps a 4-lane road, depending on what stretch of PCH you're on. But I mean, a spike strip at this point, what are the parameters and, of course, the restrictions when it comes to that? And of course, a vehicle this size. Okay, we have obviously come across some trouble with Roland Sproul's signal here out of News Chapter 4 at this point. But, of course, we're monitoring that stolen box truck.
Exactly. And again, we want to mention that we still don't know how many people are inside this box truck, but we do see that it's raining out there. The roads are slick. A major concern for the other drivers around this box truck who is driving pretty recklessly in that particular area of Malibu. Yeah, we just saw that box truck pass Pepperdine University, and I was asking Roland about what protocols would be for a spike strip on a stretch like this, where as we wait for his signal to come back and full fruition here, but we again are having trouble with that at this point. But we know that LAPD right now, they remain in tracking mode, and he explained that in fact that they have pulled back. There was at 1.3 cruises behind, but of course it's a way to keep
the eyes on the driver, but at this point don't want to ramp up his aggression in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly. And then you mentioned by Pepperdine University, which is another major concern for any of those students who may be walking around in that particular area. We've seen him cross some red lights. So, of course, major concern here for anybody who is in that area. Of course, we continue to track it over News Chopper 4, and we can see it on our monitor. I'm not sure if you guys are able to show that as well, but Roland's signal is coming in and out.
Yeah, it is. And of course, we're talking about a chase involving a very large vehicle, a very top-heavy vehicle. We typically see this with, passenger vehicles or sedans, but this sort of ramps things up here a bit. And we've seen that driver on PCH going well over 60 miles an hour at some point. And again, the major concern is what about those innocent drivers that have no idea what is happening at this point? So again, that always remains a concern, whether it's with law enforcement, of course, us as we're delivering the information.
Exactly. And then we did get some information as far as this driver did hit another driver. So again, this driver is just, is one-minded right now, trying to get away from police, and has no regard for any of those other drivers who may be in his area.
All right, so we actually have Roland Spruill back live for us at News Chopper 4. Roland, you dipped out here for a second. Can you give us a location and give us the conditions out there?
Oh, Michael, can you hear me?
We got you. All right, maybe we don't at this point, but we have some video from earlier again.
Oh boy!
This involving that box truck, and again a very
News Chopper
precarious and dangerous maneuver here made by this the driver of the stolen box truck.
Yeah, and again, it just goes to, what we've been saying about this driver is that he's crossing these red lights, he's going in between vehicles, driving on the wrong side in that center divider, of course, and of course, being that it's raining outside, that is a major concern for anybody else who may be in that particular area. And again, we want to stress that he isn't driving around the Malibu area. Still don't know how many people are inside this box truck.
Yeah, this, of course, video earlier from News Chopper 4, and we talk about now how the LAPD is in tracking mode, but here in this video shot earlier today, you see LAPD right on the tail of this truck, and again, the strategy for pulling back and remaining in track of that mode where you're just sort of like pulled back, you're not actually on top of the driver. You're tracking him from afar. It's, of course, to lessen, as we said, the aggression of perhaps any dangerous moves like this to be done here in the future.
Exactly. And so, we don't know exactly what the game plan is, if they will put out a spike strip to slow this vehicle down. But as of right now, we know that they are on just watch, and they have a chopper over it, and of course we're over it as well. Our signal is not that strong in that particular area, but it is a major concern, especially with it raining in that
right
zone.
And we have been keeping track of this here for quite some time. And again, last location, PCH, heading up through the Malibu area. Pepperdine University was one of the last locations we saw along that stretch of PCH before the signal dropped. We, of course, are doing our best now to reestablish that signal.
Exactly. And, David, our meteorologist, David Bigger, just let us know that there's more rain as they get farther west, especially west of Canaan Dune Road.
Do you copy? Saddle 226.
We gotcha, and we are so glad to have you back here, Roland. We last saw you near Pepperdine University. Give us the location and the conditions now while we got you.
Okay, Michael, sorry you were covered by NOC, but right now we are northbound on Pacific Coast Highway. We are still at the north end of Malibu. I'm going to pull out of the shot just slightly here to kind of take a look at, we should be coming up on Point Doom here pretty quickly. So this pursuit continues in tracking mode, and in fact, we got some information a little earlier that they may have pulled off of this pursuit altogether. So right now, this driver just proceeding at about, 65 miles per hour. Absolutely no one behind him, and I don't even believe there's an LAPD airship overhead as well. In fact, my pilot is telling me, yes, the LAPD airship has cleared out as well. So right now, we're just following this box truck as it makes its way, it continues northbound on Pacific Coast Highway, and it'll be making its way into the Point Doom area here pretty quickly.
Roland, for those viewers who are just tuning in right now, can you give us some just information as to when this started, how this all started?
Annabelle, I think you asked about when the pursuit started.
Correct. Yeah, and just give us some information as to what we know so far.
What we know so far is we picked up this pursuit. It's probably been the better part of an hour ago or so now, out of the West LA area, possibly Culver City. This is a stolen box truck. Right now, we believe only one individual inside that cab. However, the windows are so tinted that we haven't been able to push in enough to really be able to see anyone else who might be in there. It's a pursuit that has taken officers onto the 405 freeway in West LA, westbound 10, and then onto surface streets, onto PCH, through the Santa Monica area. In fact, there was an area as he was getting off the freeway and getting onto PCH where he went opposing. He went on the wrong side of the street, almost hit some vehicles. In fact, we're getting information, and you're getting information that he did in fact hit some vehicles, and then pushed his way back over to the right side. And thus far, he's been on the right side of the road, on the northbound side so far. A very slippery roadside, I might add. You can see the water coming up behind his wheels, and that, again, that's going to make for a very tricky situation if he has to stop suddenly. Yeah,
you know, we just got a note here from one of our meteorologists, David Bigger, and we thank you for that, David. More rain is expected the farther west he gets, especially west of Canyon Doom Road, so we are seeing the effects of that here right now. Before our signal dropped out, I asked you about a potential for a pit maneuver with a vehicle of this size, which is so top-heavy, Roland. Is that something that could be considered?
Well, I would say yes. I'd venture to say yes. They could actually do that. They could get out ahead because, for the most part, Michael, he has stayed right on Pacific Coast Highway. Right. So there's no intent, from what we can see, that he has to take another road or and what have you. So they could absolutely do that. But now they have canceled this pursuit. They've actually pulled off of this pursuit, so right now, no pursuing patrol vehicles behind, no airships overhead, and so I think they're just going to let this one go and try and pick it up someplace else with the hopes that maybe CHP or perhaps another agency might pick it up. And because there's no airship overhead, that would mean that LAPD would have had to put out a BOLO or be on the lookout for a vehicle fitting this description so that another police agency could pick up the pursuit. But right now, no police agencies in pursuit of this vehicle, no airships overhead.
You know, I venture to say, Roland, this isn't a very difficult vehicle to spot, either now or later, somewhere down the road. So you say they put that alert out. Again, we're not talking about a sedan that mixes in with everything else. This is a pretty specific box truck, and it was stolen.
Pretty much.
Right.
Pretty much, they're not going to have any trouble identifying this vehicle at all. And again, it's just going to be a matter of another police agency because he'll be coming into Ventura County here, and in fact, we're at Trancas Canyon right now, and that's one of the canyons just before you get to the LA County-Ventura County line. And so his intentions seem to be just to continue on the 405 freeway as far as he can get, eluding officers, even though there are no officers directly behind him or overhead. Now, as I push in, look at the mud that's coming down off the hillsides and so forth. And, of course, you got all the water that's right there coming off the wheels. It's a good thing that he's not going excessively fast, but I would venture to say even with a vehicle of this size and this weight, even 60 miles per hour on a 2-lane highway or a 4-lane highway like this is still much too dangerous to be traveling at.
Yeah, and then taking into consideration that it hasn't rained in a couple of days, so we could see, so there is that concern that there is oil on those streets, and this driver could easily skid.
Absolutely, that's a possibility, but This guy is just wide open right now. Whole lot of real estate up in front of him. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of vehicles or traffic out in front, so that gives a whole lot of opportunity for him to just mash it, put the metal to the pedal, if you will, or the pedal to the metal, if you will, and just continue on northbound on Pacific Coast Highway. Now, I'm certain that because a bolo or announcement's been made to surrounding police agencies, hopefully they'll be able to intervene here at the Ventura County line, but it's just unclear whether or not they'll be picking him up. I've been trying to listen on the scanner here to see if CHP or Ventura County Sheriff is getting into place to try and pick this up in any way, shape, or form, but I have not heard anything thus far.
Hey, Roland, we've covered a lot of these here together and independently, and this guy is going against everything that we typically believe in, not returning to the neighborhood in which they originated, and again, not really slowing down because of no police presence. So we did get confirmation, however, no ground units at this point, but we believe that the airship is still overhead in some way, shape, or form. So peculiar to you that he's not returning back to where he originated? That's what we typically see.
Well, not really. We certainly have seen this before, haven't we? Where I think I was on one particular pursuit myself, and my colleague Eliana Moreno has been on a number of them that went from LA County into Ventura County and just continued on. At some point, they just went into surveillance mode, and from surveillance mode just kind of put a bolo out to let other agencies pick it up, and then we got turned around, or our airship got turned around, and it's just really unclear whether or not they were able to pick it up, because at some point here, as we venture into Ventura County, we're going to lose our signal yet again and not be able to track this pursuit like we want. But yes, I would agree. He has defied by most standards the typical habits that we normally see with a lot of these pursuits, going around in circles, going back to the neighborhood that they most know. And so this individual may think that, okay, I might have some loot here in the back of this truck, something worthy of stealing, and so I'm just going to go where I can go and figure out what I'm going to do once I get there.
Yeah, and we're seeing that it is a furniture delivery box truck of some sort. So we don't know if anything is inside that vehicle or not. We also don't know how much gas this person has in that vehicle. So that is also a question, that we have, and that could potentially slow down this driver.
Yeah, very, very good question. In fact, I was just about to talk about that. Yeah, we just don't know whether or not this vehicle was making a delivery or picking furniture or supplies up. And we clearly do not know how much fuel or gas that this truck has. But suffice to say that trucks like this, probably, I'm not sure if this is a diesel or gasoline powered, but suffice to say that they're not necessarily gas efficient, and one would think that at some point that he or she is going to run out of fuel very quickly.
Yeah, Roland, if you can really quickly, you talked about the LAPD and what it's decided to do. When it hits the Ventura County line and Ventura County sheriffs are, it's now within its jurisdiction, mutual aid, they have all the information they need. Will they jump in at this point, or will they perhaps take a page out of the LAPD's book? Your thoughts?
Michael, it's a great question because the practice of police chases and police pursuits, as you know, have been very litigious here in Southern California especially. And police agencies, while they would love to catch every single felon, especially ones that steal trucks and vehicles, that sort of thing, there becomes a risk versus gain type situation where they assess for themselves, is this a situation where we might be able to pick this vehicle up in another police agency's jurisdiction? Is it a situation that is worthy of staying right on the heels of this driver, encouraging the driver to go at excessive speeds to try and catch them. It is not an easy decision, but one that ultimately is made by the police supervisor, whether or not they want to take that risk to pursue this vehicle. And clearly for LAPD and other agencies like LA County Sheriff, they've just come to the point where they go through kind of an algorithm, if you will, and assess what's worth it and what's not worth it. And for a stolen vehicle, to risk this vehicle running into someone, this is a very heavy vehicle on very muddy and now wet, slick roads. This vehicle can cause a lot of damage. And so I can't blame them for assessing the danger potentially that this could render by pulling off of this pursuit.
You know, Roland, and we are getting some information thanks to our assignment desk here, letting us know that the tracking discontinued due to weather, and because the company, and this is where technology really does play a major role in all of this, is able to track the vehicle. So we still don't know where the box truck was stolen from, but we are still waiting for all of these details. But I mean, technology really is coming in handy here.
Absolutely, and that may have been a factor as well in their determining whether or not they were going to continue this pursuit, because they know at some point they're going to be able to pick up this truck and know its location. And with any luck, and my pilot confirms that the airship from LAPD did clear out quite a while ago. With any luck, using that technology, they'll be able to continue to track this vehicle and know where it's at, and as soon as it stops, then notify a law enforcement agency to hopefully swoop in and take this individual into custody. But right now, again, no patrol vehicles behind, no air assets overhead, and this vehicle just continues northbound on Pacific Coast Highway, coming into the Trifuno Canyon area. Still not at the Ventura County line quite yet.
All right, so we continue to track this stolen box truck out of Culver City, now making its way up PCH. And as Roland told us earlier, we lost the signal there. But Annabelle, you mentioned some of the technologies that the trucking company has. I'm sorry, somebody was in my ear. And again, being able to track where this truck is going.
Exactly. And so, yes, LAPD has stopped this pursuit. But again, I mean, that's where technology really does come in handy in something like this, that they don't have to put in danger all of the other drivers, right, that are that may be in that particular area, because the driver is not seeing the vehicles, the police units behind them. So that is a good thing, because for many, for many of these drivers, they tend to move faster, drive faster when they see police officers behind them. Okay, so we have Roland's signal back, and as we continue to look at this live shot from News Chapter 4, we see again the PCH now reduced down to one lane in both directions, and so again, this is the first vehicle that we've seen it leading the truck here in quite a while. For the most part, as Roland mentioned, there was a lot of real estate for that driver to take advantage of. As we show you again, video from earlier today, obviously the weather conditions much different where this video was taken during the early stages of the chase versus where that truck is right now. Yeah, and we're seeing a lot more rain. Meteorologist David Biggert gave us some information as to, that the farther west this driver went, we were going to see more of that wet weather out there. So more rain, of course, affecting those roads, and this driver really isn't slowing down all that much, considering that it's rainy and that the roads are slick out there. All right, so again, more video now from earlier during the chase. I believe this is along Pacific Coast Highway. We see speeds there on our tracking system in excess of 70 miles an hour. A little busier during this stretch of PCH, but again, the further west we get, the more rain we see, and of course, the fewer cars we see. And that is a good thing, is that there weren't that many vehicles on PCH heading northbound on that particular area there. But, truly, the driver was seen driving recklessly. We still don't know how many people are inside that box truck that was stolen, reported stolen. We were told that LAPD discontinued tracking or this pursuit because of the weather and because the company is able to track this vehicle. So again, we don't know a whole lot of information about the particular vehicle, where it was stolen from, but we do know it was stolen. All
right, so while we got Roland and the signal back, we want to bring him on in. And perhaps, no, it's still a little shaky that we're, again, still trying to work out. This box truck stolen out of Culver City. And Annabelle, as you mentioned, we don't know the contents inside. We don't know exactly the originating company, but we have heard from the LAPD, in fact, that they pulled out their ground units, they pulled out their airship, and there is technology which can track this truck. So as we mentioned earlier with Roland, it's a pretty specific type of truck. It won't be hard to locate down the road somewhere.
Exactly. And now we're in Ventura County. So the sheriff's department could be getting involved as well. We still don't know that for sure what the game plan is here, but they are in a different, this driver is in a different jurisdiction now, and that would belong to the sheriff's department. But we don't know if they will be pursuing this vehicle or they're just going to be on the lookout. Again, one of the good things about this is that the company does have a tracking device on this vehicle.
All right, so we continue to show you video shot from earlier today. This is along Pacific Coast Highway in its earlier stages, obviously before the rain. The further west, as David mentioned, our meteorologist David Bigger, the further west this driver goes, the more rain we saw. In fact, that was true. In fact, we saw some pretty slick roads out there. And as we try to reestablish Roland's live picture, again, the conditions of fewer cars on PCH, however, the conditions a little more precarious.
Yeah, and he was driving down PCH in the Malibu area near Pepperdine University. We saw him go through these intersections pretty recklessly, we might add. And, you know, that was such a big concern because we know that that PCH in that area has been dangerous. And there are a lot of pedestrian students who are in that area near Pepperdine. So, yeah, we don't know exactly where the box truck is now, but we do believe the box truck is in Ventura County, still heading northbound on PCH. And we're trying to establish our shot here with Roland Sproul, who is still overhead this stolen vehicle that was stolen out of the area of West LA, Culver City. Don't know what's inside that box truck, but the good thing, once again, and we want to emphasize, is that the police have stopped pursuing this vehicle because the company that owns the box truck has a tracking device on it.
Yeah, and that may have played into the role of the LAPD's decision to pull off. It was in tracking mode for quite a while. The ground units pulled off. The airship stayed, I believe, a little longer, but we got confirmation from Roland's pilot here in News Chopper 4 that that airship, in fact, was pulled off. So we are again, in the Malibu area. As this truck makes its way west here on the PCH, we're going to try to establish Roland's signal here once again. But in the meantime, this chase continues. This chase continues,
not in our area here in LA County, but now in Ventura County. We are trying to establish that shot with Roland Sproul and News Chopper 4. But as of right now, we have limited information. You know, we don't know how much fuel this vehicle has and how fast he is driving in that area. We are unfortunately unable to see live images right now because of the signal that we don't have.
Okay, so as we continue to flush out the answers to these questions, we want to return you now to regular programming. Of course, we'll have more coming up for you on the NBC4 News starting at 3. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Very busy day at the Georgia State Capitol. We had the hearing on the 4th floor. On the 2nd floor was where candidates come.
Yeah, we will continue to record, continuing to record. Yeah, 7S News Chopper, I'm guessing that you want us to continue on this pursuit or on this chase and continue to record. I do copy you. Go ahead. How do you? What was that? What is that? Assignment S News Jobber. You got me on the 450? Yeah, Assignment S News Chopper in the blind. We have about 15 more minutes of fuel. We can land at either Camarillo or go back to Whiteman. Yeah. You know what? Let's just make a command decision, and let's just say we're going to land at Camarillo. And we'll hold the shot if you... Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, listen. Do you copy me? Ryan, can you copy me? Ryan from the News Chopper in the blind. This is what we're going to do. We are going to continue with the pursuit. As long as we can get fuel at Camarillo, we can fly for another 40 minutes. We're going to continue with the pursuit and get refuel at Camarillo. No, I did not. Did not copy. I am not copying you. I am not copying you, Sammy. Say again. What other airships are up? Okay. Oh. Wow. Coming into a little bit of traffic now. Oh man, do not do that. Do not do that, dude. Slow down. Go ahead, desk. Okay, where do you want us to switch to? What repeater do you want us to switch to? PV, copy, stand by. Oh boy. Desk on the 450. Switch back to PV. Oh, do it. Assignment on snooze jobber. Okay. Period. Are you able to see my picture at all? Question mark. Okay, I need you to ask NOC what mountaintop they want me to be on and what radio repeater site they want me on. Yeah, you got me? Okay. All right, listen, Sammy. Right now I'm on OAT and my radio repeater is on PV. What is that sound? What is that sound? You hear that? You hear that sound? There's a loud tone. I got you loud and clear. I'm on OAT right now, 240, and my radio repeater is on PV. Do you want me to switch to OAT? Okay. You know what I mean. Metal to the pedal to the metal. Yep, I've been rolling the whole time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The reality of it is that it has become so litigious here. So litigious. I absolutely can. Can you hear me? Yep, I sure can. How are we doing on fuel? 40? Okay. Okay. The pedal to the metal. To the metal. It's become so litigious. It's become so litigious. Voice versus game. Versus game. I called it. It's a feeling I had in my bones. That's it. Metal to the metal. Metal to the metal. Michael, Mark. You know as well as you know as well as I do. Ooh, what was that? Oh, okay. All right. Well, there's the CHP cruiser right there. Let's see what these guys do. Yeah, I saw him back there. Kind of hanging back a little bit. Probably waiting to get authorization to engage. Yep, two of them back there. Is that what they're saying? I didn't see that. He hit that guy? Oh, getting off the freeway. Let's see, where's he getting off at? This is going to be Moore Park Road. Through Moore Park. Maybe getting back on the freeway. Nope. Getting back onto the freeway. Still southbound on the 101. Oh, look at that. He rammed right in the back of that guy. Holy cow. Oh, that dude is nuts. So now this guy's coming after him. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. He headed on the 23. This takes us back into Ventura County, doesn't it? Yeah. So now this guy's following him. He's going to try and stop him. He's trying to stop him. He's trying to stop him. Going around. Oh, he just juked him. He's getting off the freeway. This is going to be Jan's Road. Jan's Road. Okay, making a right-hand turn. Copy. How? What's our closest airport? Camarillo? Okay, I'll let him know. Assignment S, News Chopper. Assignment S, News Chopper. How long until we absolutely have to pull off? 15 minutes. Okay. NOC News Chopper. Wow. Blew right through that intersection. Yeah, I do. You got me? Okay, yeah, we're have to go to Camarillo. Let them know we're going to Camarillo. Correction on that. Whiteman. We'll be going to Whiteman. Yeah. Hey, Sammy, did you catch all that shenanigans on the freeway? Outstanding. Okay, cool. He sure did. We were talking about that. Maybe it takes a another box truck to pit a box truck. This guy's just cruising through this residential area. He has no idea where he's going. Left-hand turn onto. This would be a perfect time to try and see if they can pit this guy. Not pit him, but spike strips. If they could get an airship overhead. Herbs Road. Southbound on Herbs Road. Right-hand turn, Thousand Oaks Boulevard. Blowing through the intersection, making a left-hand turn onto Rancho Road. What's that? Yeah. northbound 101. Are we the only ones following this box truck? Who else is up? 5? Everyone. Okay. Everyone is here. Dude, just let me know when you need to pull off, man. We're just gonna have to bear and grin it. I hate to pull off, but we got to do it. Okay. Yeah. Understood. Okay. Whenever you're ready. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Sammy, you on the 450? Hey, Sammy, you got yours on? Hey, Sammy, you got yours on? NOC News Chopper work. Hey, Christina, we got about 2 minutes and we got to pull off. Okay, copy that. Thank you.